Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and in today's video, let's talk about when could Shadowlands possibly be released. I mean, a lot of you guys are probably like me. You've been really excited for the next expansion, and when you heard about the delays, you were kind of bummed out because, well, BFI corruption is just not worth playing with, even though delay was probably necessary in this case. But when is the next expansion coming out? We have no idea. Blizzard just said it's going to be sometime later this year, so I'm going to use this time with the video to kind of figure out and try to hypothesize when could it actually be released. I'm going to try to use the information that Blizzard gave us based on the delay announcement, as well as some of the other things that are not exactly World of Warcraft, but has to do with World of Warcraft. Primarily the ray tracing technology coming out very, very soon, but how soon? We have a month or so of kind of a guesstimate here now, and use all the information we have to give you guys some of the different ideas when I think expansion could be potentially out. So let's get into some of the different things that we could talk about in this video. First of all, let's talk about the 2020 versus 2021 argument. Some of us have mentioned that probably the expansion should be released in 2021 because 2020 has been kind of a cursed year. Blizzard in their own note mentioned when they had to delay the expansion that it will be released later this year. So it's likely that it's going to be in 2020. There's probably even something about legally binding to it, because when you pre-ordered Shadowlands originally, it said the expansion will be released on or before December 31st, 2020. Again, I'm not a legal kind of person, a legal kind of mind. I'm pretty sure there's something legally binding to that type of statement when you're selling a product early, like a pre-purchase and such. So most likely we'll get Shadowlands in 2020. But what if developers just decide to make a post being like, hey, 2020 has been kind of a cursed year. A lot of bad things have happened. Can we start the new expansion to make sure that it's good and not cursed from the get-go in 2021? I think a lot of people would actually be kind of okay with it. I think a lot of people that I know would actually be like, yeah, you know what? 2020 has been a pretty bad year. If you want to wait until like January 1st, 2021 and release it then, I think that'll be a-okay by most people. But we'll see what Blizzard ends up doing it. Most likely we are fair to assume that 2020 is the limitation and restriction for our release date. Second, we only have a few months to go. We have November and December, so it gives us a pretty tight window in terms of when it could be released. It is November, so this would be actually the month when Blizzard would have their 16th anniversary. Now, this is going to be most likely the earliest date that I can give you is potentially 16th/17th. The 16th/17th would actually work pretty well because, well, if Blizzard were to do a worldwide release, technically in the US, it would be an anniversary release. So basically it would be us celebrating 16th anniversary and the expansion would be out. And it would kind of work out in terms of at least US and the EU, because 17th would also be a Tuesday, 16th would be a Monday. It would kind of work. How cool would it be to have the expansion released on the anniversary of World of Warcraft? It would be a really cool idea, but there's a big problem. If that is to be the actual new date and Blizzard is just going to kind of sneak it up on us, then the pre-patch event with the zombies would have to start today, as in by the time you're watching this video, right now, at least on the NA servers. So if by the time you watch this video, or a couple of hours after, and you don't see zombies running around Stormwind and Armory, then most likely this date won't work. It would be a really cool date, and November and anniversary, I think would just be so fitting for the release of the expansion. It'd be kind of cool, but I don't know if that'll be enough time for Blizzard to really get the expansion ironed out. I think, I guess there's a lot of question of whether that would be enough time in the first place, but also it would kind of just be sporadic, and without Blizzard announcing a little bit anything extra early, it would be a surprise if Tuesday was the day for pre-patch. The next thing we could take a look at is maybe the anniversary will actually be the day when we will get the event for the pre-patch, and then we would have the expansion release on the 8th of December. 8th of December will be a Tuesday, it will be December, and with Christmas coming around, it's a little bit of a question of, is Blizzard going to be able to really find a good timing for the raid schedule and when the raids will be available, because I don't think they want to release the new raid the same time as like the 25th of December when most people are hanging out with their families. So there's a little bit of an argument in terms of where people are going to be, if people are actually going to be at their computers, are they actually going to be able to play the game, and it might not be a good idea to release it then. But having the anniversary event start on the 16th again would be kind of interesting. It would be pretty symbolic to the whole, hey, the anniversary, hey, let's get into the new expansion. The reason why I harp on November that much is also because, hey, ray tracing should also be available for World of Warcraft, or an expanded version of ray tracing. I know they have been doing the shadows for ray tracing, but a lot of the surfaces and reflections like the other games have, hasn't really made it into World of Warcraft just yet. And I think the Nvidia looks like they want to ramp up even more ray tracing for a lot more games. Quite a lot of things will be coming out in November, and Nvidia has already made a post talking about November being a pretty big day and a lot of ray tracing elements being enabled for a variety of new releases, but also for games that have already been out, and World of Warcraft is on their list. Now, in that article, they don't particularly feature anything that has World of Warcraft and November, but every other game that's been posted there is all about November, and it's all about a recent update that's going to be available very, very soon. So is it almost safe for us to say that it's most likely going to be November, or at least something might happen in November because Nvidia is getting prepped for November. Blizzard has opportunity with the anniversary to do something with November. It looks like November is a month that maybe things will be happening, because even World of Warcraft Classic have had PTR enabled for the new raid Naxxramas. Yet no confirmation of the date, but it also speculated that it's either going to be late November or early December. There's a lot of things that are happening where November would be perfect time for World of Warcraft, because December ends up being less than ideal time, because, well, you would have a lot of conflicts with holidays as well as Season 1 stuff. The raid, Mythic race, you know, imagine having to try to get your guild together and do Mythic raiding and really progress to try to be the top guild, top 100, while you're hanging out with the fam on Christmas or New Year's or whatever you celebrate. It'll be kind of awkward to try to make an excuse to rip yourself away from your loved ones and kind of grind in a video game. You would want to give players as much ample time for that as best as you can. So it might not be a great idea, but there are a couple dates with December where Blizzard could potentially get away with it. WoW did the math, and they're saying that if the expansion will be released on like the 24th, that means on the 8th, it will be the raid release, with the December for 15th, if Blizzard does maintain their original, which they've done for most expansions now, 2-week delay between expansion launch and then like seasonal stuff starting to begin. So basically it would be like, okay, from the day that the expansion launches where you can start leveling to 60, about 2 weeks of leveling and getting your alts up and running, and then the seasonal stuff would begin, but in smaller capacity, like heroic and normal would be available. But then a week after, the real season 1 begins with the Mythic race starting then and there. You have your PvP season starting then and there. Mythic Plus will be in full swing. So if it went this way, WoW had speculating that maybe it'll be kind of close to Christmas, but potentially it could be okay because everybody is still stuck at home for the most part. I guess that could work out, but talking to my guildies, they think that maybe, but kind of unlikely, because I haven't really been doing the Mythic stuff that much. I've really started at the end of Legion and done it all of BFA. But some of my guildies have played back in Legion, back in WoT, back in MoP, and earlier expansions than that say that doing it around the holidays just seems like a really bad idea. Ask anybody. It's just not optimal. So on paper, November doesn't sound the worst time to do it. It sounds like the perfect time to do it. But the question is, will the expansion be ready by November? Because it's still in the oven and it's still cooking. Will it come out undercooked even if we waited 1 extra month until November? But in terms of December, I think it would be given them an extra month. It's probably going to be more than done, or at least closer to done. But with all the holidays, is it a good time to come out in December? Maybe 2021 doesn't sound like the worst idea ever. It'll give enough time to make sure all the kinks are ironed out and all the balancing tunings, especially with all the systems they're trying to bring in, should hopefully be mostly set in stone. Maybe 1 or 2 minor, and I really do mean minor things, might be still an issue, but for the most part it should all be good and done. Plenty of time would have been put into it by then, and you wouldn't be dealing with any of the holidays, and again, you would be skipping out the 2020 cursed year thing. So yeah, I don't know. I think 2021 sounds more like a viability, but if even a pre-patch got released today with all the zombie events as this video goes live, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of excited for Shadowlands, and I kind of would be excited, even though cautiously optimistic, I guess is the best way to put it. But yeah, that's gonna be my video on when I think Shadowlands could be potentially released. You guys are more than welcome to share your thought processes and your theory crafting down in the comments. Let me know when you think it's going to be. I really do think December would be kind of an awkward year. I almost don't want them to do it, but December I think would be a decent time. I just think it would run into so many complications. So maybe November or 2021, in my opinion, might be the best time to do it. As for when Blizzard will do it, it looks like maybe potentially November, although I could eat my words in the future. This is just a hypothesis though, so I could most likely be wrong. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see all of you in the next one.